Hello, 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 people.
Ooh,
We are
hello.
live. Welcome to Chat Her Up.
Mm-mm-mm.
Today, we are going to review Love and Marriages Season 8, according to Hulu. Episode 1. It's called Arrested Redevelopment.
And it's episode 1, but it probably should say episode 1A. Because next week is gonna be 1B. So that Carlos don't have to pay them for the full show. He splits it up into 2. Remember when they explained that?
Yeah, but this is a little bit different though. This is a new season. It did start over. With the seasons, what he does is, I don't know if this is still true. He has a large contract with OWN.
Okay.
Like he might get for the season, it literally might be 33 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll take 15 and call that season 1A. I mean, or 8-1 or 8A, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have a long break. He'll probably put in another one of his shows, and then they'll come back and it'll be 8B. That's how they do it. They have very long seasons. It seems like they work all year round, but he really does cut it up, because we know that they were filming this in February, March. We knew when they were filming it because we knew in real time when Martell was arrested, because of course it made news.
Yeah. So you don't think what Winter said is true, that he splits it A and B? I mean, did you hear her interview when she was
I didn't hear her, but I know what she's talking about, where they talking about scenes. You'll have a scene and it's a cliffhanger. So you don't get paid unless you're in another scene in that episode. You're not getting paid because they're splitting up that scene.
Yeah.
It's you get paid by the scenes. I do know that. And
so that's not just Love and Marriage Huntsville?
No. That's how it works. That's how my cousin says it works. Yeah. She explained that on something else. But I mean, and I don't know if everybody does their thing the same, but I could understand why. That's still just one scene. It actually makes sense.
It's cutting their pay in half, according to Winter.
It only cuts your pay in half if you're not in another scene in that episode. But if
she made it sound like even if you in both scenes.
No.
You only get paid for one. That's why he splits it up.
No. Now, if you have a real long scene and it usually doesn't happen like that, and it takes up the whole episode, that might be different. But it's you get paid by scenes. So, and what I mean by scenes is, if you're in 3 scenes in one episode, they're not going to pay you 3 times. I'm just saying you do have to show up for different scenes. That's why we film a lot with people and forced to have conversations with people they don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, come on, let's go through it. Now, I did miss the first 3-4 minutes.
The first,
but it opened with Martell, right? Or Melody?
Melanie kind of first.
Okay.
And then it does kind of open. It opens with me. Let's go back a little further. It does open with me. I don't know why I keep thinking
this was a full package. So Joy, I'm gonna let you start off with that since you caught it from the very beginning. But let's rate the show though. And if you guys that are watching, if you want to put your rating in the comments, 1 to 10, what you think of the first episode, I gotta give it, on the messy perspective, I mean, this was probably a 9.5. It was messy. Is that?
This was a 10. I can't see what anybody could want more in a first episode. Most seasons, when you start a new season, they start off and you spend the whole season just getting to find out what they've been up to. That's what normally is in every successful reality show. They usually spend the first episode, it's normally nothing. Now, usually at the end, they're trying to start something, get all the girls together by the end of that first episode, but they're normally boring. This one came in with an undercut. Like, and then what's crazy is we know all the details of all of this.
We do, and it still was good.
And it was still good.
Yeah.
At times, the conversation were jaw-dropping.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about Martell and his mother.
Oh.
She will defend her son as all parents should, but Jesus Christ.
Well, it starts off, let's start at the beginning.
All right.
With Mel talking to her brother and telling what happened with the
tape, with the arrest and the tape.
Right. And I don't know if you all remember these details, but if we go back to 2022, it was in August. I do remember that. There was a day on Instagram that Mel and Melanie were fighting like for hours on the internet. And they were just going backwards and forward. And I remember thinking, oh, this got to be for the show.
Melanie and who were fighting?
Melanie and Martell.
Oh, okay.
And they were, hurling the craziest things at each other, going backwards and forward on Instagram. So eventually, I don't know if you remember, I was sending y'all all of these screenshots like, this has not stopped. It was like insane. And so Martell must have sent her a picture of whatever they were doing, a screenshot of whatever they were doing, and told her to stop with it. He kind of said that, but this is what happened. Like, it was bad that day. It was like we were all dripping in the tea, but it was bad. I hate that he did that.
Yeah.
Where the crazy part comes in is, you fast forward a year later, we had been hearing about this scheme, and I don't remember how that girl was related. But if y'all remember at the beginning of last season, Nell threw a tea party. There was a girl that was there, and whoever that girl is that was talking, because she she talked to somebody. That girl was allegedly approached to release that video.
Right. She was allegedly approached by Coleslaw to open an account and put it out there and make it look like it was Melody with another man. And that they were going to put that out. And he was doing this to damage Melody. And we know that. He admitted that there was a picture and he tried to get her to stop. But he admits it. We know what it was.
He doesn't admit that he threatened to put that video out there.
Yes, he did.
No,
He sent her. He sent her.
No, not the threat. I'm sorry. I mean, literally. I think, unless I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, it sounds like you're saying that Martell admitted to trying to get this video put out there. Not that he threatened Mel about doing it. I'm not talking about that part. That we know he did that. I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a lot of he say, she say. This isn't fact, is what I'm saying. He's never admitted to this.
But he has admitted to her and to us that, yes, I did send her a picture. And under that picture, I said, please stop, please stop.
Right.
And then he says, and I didn't say it, but I guess that kind of said it. If you don't stop, I'm going to send this out. He did admit that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. But the more egregious part, because that's just could be an idle threat or not. That really wasn't the issue. Mel did not care about that part. The part that she cared about was hearing that Martell was trying to actually put the video out. And that's the part that Martell has not said that is true. So because as far as we know, this could be totally a lie. Now, it could be totally the truth, but we don't know that, is what I'm saying. But
I think we do know that. I mean, of course he's not trying to go out there and put his entire self on Front Street, but when he's having his conversations about it, he kind of admits it. I never put a video out there. I mean, there was a video, but I never put it out. So his stories has changed a lot.
That has nothing to do with whether or not he tried to give it to somebody else to put on the internet to open up this fake Instagram account and say it was another man. That's something totally different. That's all that I'm saying. He could be absolutely guilty. I don't know. I'm just saying we just should kind of told a more even line. That's all that I'm saying, because that would not be fair. But the next scene is what the one you wanted to talk about, and that was Martell and his mother.
Listen, I know how we can be with our kids. I get that. But what I picked up in this episode is nobody seems to understand what harassment communications is. And I didn't know what it was either until this came out. So when she's talking to Martell about this, she's saying, "How, why would she want to do this to you over a text? What, over a text message? What is this harassment? What if everybody just believes the DV? It's wrong. How, you're her kid. I mean, you're the father of her kids. Why would she want to do that?" So we're going to hear Courtney talk about it, and he's saying that it's just a text. It's nothing DV about it. People don't understand that, and maybe that's why her support for him was a little strong. But they're not understanding why Melody would do that. I think if people understood what that means, harassment communications, you're threatening me with this sexual stuff, I don't know that they would be so in tune to want to rub his back and, be Team Martell. And I could be wrong. It's just that is foul as heck. It's a lot deeper than just, he's completely separating it. And I guess a lot of people will, but you can't. It's a law out there, and that's why he got arrested.
Well, not, trying to overstep the fact that it's the law. You're not, it's illegal, even in my state, for revenge porn, because that's really all it is.
Yeah.
It's revenge porn laws, and every state at this point has them. Some states more, worse than the other.
Yeah.
But I mean, while I agree with what some of the things that you said, I also have to counter with this. I don't know if Martell, what was the point I was going to make about, I think Martell has a really good case for self-defense here. While the screenshot, wait a minute, while the screenshot is terrible, and he could argue was an idle threat. So much was going on that day. If Martell took the time to print out all of those things, as horrible as what he did at the end, and if he's really begging her to stop, and him sending a picture, which is he's sending a picture back to the person that's in there. At this point, he's not putting it out into the internet. He's sending it back to the person that he had the situation with. I'm not getting into the gossip part of it. I'm getting into what he actually did, because in my opinion, that's where Martell's thought process is. He's not thinking about this rumor, because as far as I'm concerned, it's a rumor. It's not based off of fact. It might be true, but it might not be. So I think he would have a good case in front of a judge if they printed out all of those text messages from Instagram, because the things that they were saying to each other were terrible. This wasn't just Martell going off on Melanie, and Melanie is saying, "Kumbaya, let's be good. I love this. I'm good." She wasn't.
But at no point in anything she did put out.
And that day, she started it.
Okay, Joy, listen. We know how you are with Martell. We know
this
that's
ain't
your
about
boo-boo,
that.
boo-boo.
I'm giving up.
It's about that.
This is not, look, I'm not trying to have a mellow-meter conversation with you.
No, it ain't about the mellow-meter, though.
It's yours, and let's move on. We don't have to agree.
Well, and we're not, because you're wrong on that, but that's okay. But no, all I'm saying is there's no way in the world that we can try and separate it and say that what Melody did, she was putting out so much stuff that day, then, all he was doing was self-defense, and it kind of doesn't matter. Is what it sounds like you're saying. Am I wrong?
I'm not necessarily saying it is self-defense. But I think at that point, because what he got arrested for, he wouldn't have, if he's sending a screenshot to somebody who's a recipient of it, that's not an issue, because they're consenting adults. The issue is he threatened her with it. That's the part that's illegal.
Yeah.
But the going backwards and forward, like, and he's begging her, I do believe in front of a judge, while the judge will say what he did was wrong and illegal, and whatever the situation has to be, how it has to be resolved, he may still have those consequences. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it wasn't him doing this by himself. He wasn't talking to the moon. Melanie was tripping that day.
Okay, all right. But you know who else he was talking to? Coleslaw. And who was Coleslaw talking to? The original Straight No Chaser. I mean, this goes, because of Martell, this goes far beyond just Melody and Martell. We heard about this, yes, from the blue lady at the tea party. But then here comes the conversation that, with Coleslaw and the blogger. So Melody, they can have their little fights back and forth. That's what they're going to do when you're going through a divorce. But now Martell is not only threatening, he's added somebody else to it. She has shown it to Blue, or to Cordon Bleu. I might be getting her name wrong. And Coleslaw has talked about it on the blog, and then even said something about, I can send it to you even. She even said she would send it to her. So we are now past the point of just Martell and Melody. And that's because of Martell. So I think it's a lot more serious than it sounds like that you believe it is. I think it's a lot more serious because of the additional people that got involved in it. It opened up a whole different can of worms when that happened. Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that Melanie, they were having a contrast conversation about what inspired and what occurred. I thought that was pretty cool, and it didn't feel like wasteful time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these scenes be so wasteful. And we can move on if you're ready to.
Yeah.
When Nell going, who was there?
Stormy.
Yeah, Stormy went to go see. I don't know why I can't remember nobody's name.
Listen, no. Stormy is snatched. Did you check her out?
Yeah, she looked good.
She looked so good. Now, is this
I watch her on a lot of stuff anyway. I don't know if you follow her on TikTok, but
I don't.
Stay on TikTok.
She looked really good though. Mm-hmm. Whatever the heck I don't know if it's Ozempic or just going to the gym or what, but she looked really good. Okay, so her and her and Nell sat down to talk about this. She's like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that arrest? Now, Nell comes back and says, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that. In the African-American community, we should not send our men to jail if it's something that can be worked out between the two. So my question is, how can that be worked out? You've already sent the threats out there. How do you work that out? You sent it out there to me, whether it was just a picture or not. You sent it to your girlfriend, who now sent it to the blog. The girlfriend also has now involved other people with it. So that, to me, is not something that you can just work out. It'd be nice if it was, but it's not. So how is it that, and do you agree with them? To me, there's no way in the world you should even be able to say you shouldn't send somebody to jail that does that to you. Do you disagree with that?
With this stuff, I absolutely do. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I guess as a mother, I would be so worried about my children. Like, the mere fact that she said that he could be driving, and if he got pulled over, that's when he would find out about this.
Okay.
Like, and your children can be sitting in social service or whatnot. He just happened to be somewhere. He must have went to the police station or something, because that happened to me before, like literally. Believe it or not, when I went to get my first professional job, I had to get a police report, and I went in the police to get a report to for my job, and they told me, lady, it's a warrant out for your arrest. Now, it was a mistake, and I had proof. But it was something that I literally did at 17, and I was now 23.
Yeah, I mean, I get that that stuff happens, but when people are coming back saying that, I mean, the kids are involved. Shouldn't
Yeah.
Martell have been concerned about that when he put it out there?
I mean, I wouldn't, I personally wouldn't do that. I mean, you could, based off of this stuff, based off of what we know, I wouldn't do that. I always
You
feel
wouldn't do
like,
what part? What are you saying you
I
wouldn't
don't,
do?
I always feel like Melanie looks for ways to hurt him, like any way that she possibly can.
But do you think what he did hurt her?
I, I don't think, see, the difference between you and I, that's why I said I wanted to separate the two. I don't believe that.
You don't
I
believe what part? What do
I
you
don't.
think?
I just don't believe that Martell was going to actually pass that tape on. I do remember when Cole saw what she told the blogger. She told the blogger that she saw it. Like, I mean, it's. I just don't necessarily believe that he was going to do that. I just don't. So when I have these conversations, I mean, your thought process and mine are just different here.
Yeah, they are. They
Yeah,
are.
I
But
mean,
it
and I mean,
so but
I'm okay with that difference, and I,
but when
just
we
leave it
say
there.
we you just don't believe he was going to do it. Well, I guess we don't know until it was actually put out or not put out, which I don't believe it ever was to the masses. But we know it's been seen by other people. But when you get a threat like that, do you sit around and wait for it to happen, or do you go and report it?
I mean, I told y'all we had this conversation. I got enough sense in between my ears not to ever do no video with anybody.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're
I'm in a.
talking about Martell though.
Again, you asked me about what I'm just telling you what I would do. So this wouldn't be a situation I was in anyway. At worst, to age myself, if it was anything out there, it would be a Polaroid. It
A
wouldn't be no video.
Polaroid. But
It wouldn't be no.
yeah, I think it's really serious, and I get so back to their conversation because I know our disagreements. We can go on and on with that, but back to that specific conversation. I thought it was interesting the way Stormy brought the questions up to her, and Nell was answering them, and Stormy never really agreed or disagreed, but she did shake her head a couple times in agreement. She never verbally said it, but I get the feeling that she agrees it was wrong to have him arrested too. I don't know that she said that or not. Did you get that feeling?
No, I don't think that either. I think both of them are conflicted on this. In a way, I think they both realize how messy this whole situation is with Mel and Melanie, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody has an opinion, like Mel or hate Martell. Everybody got an opinion. I think these adults that's on the show that see it, they see way more than what we do. So when anything that
Okay.
either one of them do, I think that they're being vindictive toward one another.
They
Like,
are, but
so when you're in that situation, they are kind of on both ends of it. Like, what he did was messed up, but you ain't have to do that to him. Like that, I think that that's where most of them are.
but okay. But he knows he didn't have to do that to her too, though. So what to me the weird part of it is how people are really trying to say that she shouldn't take the threat seriously and have him arrested when he shouldn't have put that threat out there and have confirmation that other people have seen that tape. That right there, maybe if you just I mean, I don't see a way around that. If you just think about that, especially us that have daughters, come on.
Yeah, I would also tell my daughter not to do anything like this. Like,
What?
to me, I guess this is also where I stand, and this is kind of a moral issue. And when you have moral, I think, because I do believe this is a moral issue. I don't know which moral, but I think this is a moral issue. And I just feel like there were no morals involved in creating the mess. I would never do anything like that.
Well, I know that you wouldn't, but it's been done.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
And
It just doesn't in this digital age to place yourself in a situation. I don't want to ever be that vulnerable to anybody.
Well, yeah, no, neither do I. And, neither does she. If you think about it, that was a private moment with her and her husband. We shouldn't even be talking about it. But her husband wanted the conversation out there, and so that's why we are. And that, to me, it just turned everything around. So, but just to go back a little bit to what you said, you thought it was foul that she would have him arrested at any time, even though the kids might have been around. So, how do you avoid that though? Because if we are split 7 days on, 7 days off in the child custody case, which I believe they still are, if it happens that the cops get you and you're with the kids, if you really are intent on holding charges against them for that, then you can't really control that though, unless you're going to schedule a date and time that they should go get him. It doesn't sound like she had a choice in the matter to me. Do you think she did?
Who?
Melody. Do you think Melody had a choice on when they were going to go and pick him up?
Okay. I guess, again, I'm asking, I'll keep saying this, but I'll say it again. I'm coming from the perspective of, all of that other stuff don't exist. It's just rumors. I'm basing this conversation based off what we know. Let's base off facts. Okay. So if it was me, like for real, because you were saying, did she have a choice? I would have picked up the phone and called Martell and said, listen here, you little nigga. You can threaten me. I heard that there is a plan about X, Y, and Z. I have been generous with you, but if you even, like, for real, this would be the day that I would lose my screw. That I hate that it would have to go to that end.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would have let him know what I heard.
Okay.
And I would have laid it out. That would be, because I'm telling you, this is a real conversation and I'm recording it.
Okay. So what we do know,
and I would let him know that until the end.
So based on the facts that we do know, she did know that something was out there, because he sent her the message, the text message. But she didn't jump and go and call the cops right away on that. When she did that, it was a little later on, after a stranger.
She said August.
Or whatever the date.
It was the same time.
Hold on.
It was in real time. That happened in August.
Okay.
She literally said
August or August. That's not what I'm about to say. What I'm about to say is she already knew it was out there, and she didn't go run to the cops or do anything like that. She already knew it because he had already sent her the text. When she went ballistic about it is when she gets a call from a stranger named Cordon Bleu, and I'm sure I'm getting that name wrong, that, hey, you need to know this. There's a tape out there. I was asked to be a part of it, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not like Melody heard this and quickly jumped out there to have this man arrested. She knew it was there. He put the threat out there. She didn't get ballistic until there was additional people that have no business knowing about anything her and her husband did, sexually or otherwise. But you're coming to me telling me, hey, this is what I was asked to do. I think you need to know. From that moment on, so when you say she should have just picked up the phone and been like, hey, listen, if you do this, I'm going to do this. To me, she didn't even pick up the phone and go off on him or anything until she gets this Cordon Bleu information. And at that point, she was supposed to hit the fan, if you ask me. The father of my children going to threaten me like that?
This whole story that you just told played out in them Facebook groups. And I'm only saying that to say that the people that are watching this show, like for real, they're not going to see none of that. That's not going to play out. And again, that stuff don't exist. You can argue it all day long, but we ain't going to see a second of none of that on this show.
What difference does that make if we sit on the show?
It makes a difference because I'm watching this show. It looks petty. It looks petty. It just looks like, even if she heard it, it's just another reason to ram him up. Even if I don't know that stuff is true.
Joy,
I don't know what you're saying that I keep telling you that. I'm saying about 7 times.
Well, it might look petty, but we know it's true. And, I know you like to do the whole real time thing. In real time, Melody even went live when all this blue cordon bleu tea party and all that, she went live and broke down in tears because she's having to come out here and talk to us about a possible revenge porn tape. Who wants to sit there on a live and talk about that?
Okay, I don't. This whole thing, all the stuff that happens in these blogs, that's why I stopped literally going in, particularly Huntsville group, because they spoil the show. If you just watching this, all of these details could be true or could absolutely not be true.
But Joy, maybe you didn't hear what I said. I'm not talking about a group, a strange bloggers. I said Melody went live. Melody.
But so none of that's playing out on the show, but okay.
Well, none of this is playing out on the show, but they talked about it here.
You're correct, Katora. Couture said Couture. Yeah, Couture.
The way
that it's edited out, the way that this is edited out, I just thought this was, first of all, this was an assassination of Martell. Like, I know he was pissed watching this episode. It is crazy.
Well, then he shouldn't he have considered that when he made that threat? So let me ask you this, because I know you and I disagree, especially when it comes to Martell. But when you know what somebody is doing, you know what they're doing is wrong, no matter how many people he showed it to. He sent her the text and said, if you don't do this, I'm going to do that. So when you put something out there like that, it's easy for you to now say, well, it's y'all got Melody's petty for this. It wasn't petty when she's got the information from Martell, the threat from Martell in the text. That wasn't petty. So maybe he should have thought about that. And it also wasn't petty when she's getting the call.
That ain't nobody seen.
Hold on.
It's crazy. It's just insane.
It is, but I'm talking about Melody. I'm not talking about Queen Sheba or cute chit chat with the QT, whatever. I'm talking about Melody went live to address it. So a lot of the stuff has happened outside of the show, but we do know with Huntsville, everything that's happened outside of the show, we sometimes watch all that more than the show. But it was brought up on this.
I know it. That's why I said they spoiled the show.
But it hasn't been spoiled for me yet because I want to see the outcome.
Actually, to be honest, I obviously didn't know a lot of this stuff. Some things I did know, but a whole lot of stuff because at some point when I say I backed away. I put a lot of them on a 90-day pause.
Well, yeah, I have heard about all of it.
It was too much. Like it does spoil the show. It's almost like you're watching two alternative worlds.
It didn't spoil it for me yet because it's still an open case, so it's not spoiled yet. But what I think what I'm getting at, Joy, and I don't know that people will ever agree. The fact is, what he did is considered a crime. So and she didn't rush to do it. She went and talked about it after she was given proof that he had kind of put that out in the atmosphere to other people. So without talking about whatever the blogs heard, or whatever the cordon bleu lady heard, etc., the fact is what he did was wrong. So why do you think it is that a lot of people are saying, oh, Melody's petty for that? Well, what was she supposed to have done?
First of all, I would really have to see. Let me also say this. I do wonder, are there other text messages? Because sending her a picture of that text message of threatening to put it out, I don't believe, we don't know. Let me just say this. We don't know if all of this other stuff that we heard is part of the complaint. Because if it is, they would have to have an investigation. And text messages, the one thing about your phone, they can take your phone and track anything.
Yeah, they can.
That's how the law is. You could have sent somebody a text and deleted it, and they could still retrieve it.
Yeah, but but they don't have to.
So they would have to be able to prove. What I'm saying to you, I don't believe some of this stuff. I believe there may have been talk, but I don't know that anybody outside of silly coleslaw actually has seen this video. There were rumors that other people said that they have seen the video. I don't know that that's true. They may have heard that there is a video out there and has repeated it like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that is a possibility. All of these windows and rumors, there's just certain things that we don't know.
I know, Joy, but what I'm focusing on is what we do know based on what Melody and Martell said. Even, if we dropped every other person in the situation, Martell went on Tasha K and said a whole lot of crap he shouldn't have been saying. So he's admitted to what we're talking about, as far as
we have to see how this plays out, because if she's accusing him of like getting somebody, that all of that would have to be investigated, and all of that has a what do you call it? Not a blueprint, but what do you call the print? A digital print to it. So that kind of stuff could be retrieved, period.
Yeah, it can. It can.
So until this case plays out, this may be something that they throw out, because I don't even know if it's against the law to do a screenshot and send it to the other person that I'm not sure how that one works.
Well, it is, because he added a threat to it.
Okay,
that's based on what he said. This is what Martell said. So, but anyway, I know it's 10 till 9. Let's get to some other parts so we can try and get through it all.
Yeah. What's the next scene was? Girl, I didn't went past it. We talked so long on that.
We talked about Stormy. Now, let me go back to, let me see, when Stormy was talking to Nell. Mm-hmm. She said something about Kiki denying all. So she's not happy with Kiki right now because she heard Kiki was selling information to the bloggers. Did you get that part?
Yeah, we knew that, and you weren't paying that no attention.
No, but why is she upset? It wasn't anything about Stormy, was it? Or did she say
no? It was it was something real simple about Stormy. I can't remember what it was, but it was something real simple.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was that one guy that she did those
so it was allegedly the Anthony Lofty. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she must have told him something about the Texas trip. And I want to say initially she wasn't supposed to be there, or Mel told her to come. Mm-hmm. Something happened. It was something surrounded around whether or not Mel asked her to come or not. She's saying that Mel told her to come. And if you remember, they did answer that question while they were in Texas. She answered it directly to Tisha. She said, I didn't say that she should come. I said she should check with everybody. And so she pops up anyway. And she was mad, allegedly, because I don't know if she felt like Mel was she either felt like Mel was throwing her out under the bus if Mel really did tell her, or she was mad that she felt like she was taking the rap for it all, for popping up. Like, and she wanted Mel to help her out. One or the other. So anyway, she told the blogger that, and they were supposed to be mad, and she had said something allegedly mean about Melanie, and whatever it was, Melanie was ticked off about it, and she was like, that wasn't me, that was my mama. She was
she did say that,
and she really did say that, and stuck with it. And I don't know if you remember, just to kind of put this in perspective, Marceau and her got into it, because remember, she was like, I didn't lie, I'm not lying. And Marceau had posted something like on his Facebook. It was like I don't know, it was something his smart butt said. It was something about her lying. And of course, she jumped on it. And I'm telling you, when I say it was like all day, they went backwards and forward on Facebook. That crap was funny as hell. First of all, Marceau I love Marceau. He's like my favorite one on there because he's so funny. Marceau went toe to toe with her, and they talked about all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, talking about their family, I can't remember any of the details. It was so long ago. But when I tell you, I enjoyed myself that day because I laughed all day.
Marceau is pretty funny. Oh, but since you brought up Marceau, we're kind of jumping around now because I know that it's been a long time. But since you brought up Marceau, Marcel went live yesterday. I don't know who watched it, but he went live yesterday to go in on the millimeters because he heard the millimeters were going to block out the show, right?
Yeah.
And then today on the show, Tisha and Destiny talked, and they sat there and went in on the millimeters. So they were saying the millimeters are nuts. They are violent and vicious and everything. What? Why is the millimeters getting these people all up in their panties, all up in a wad? What is happening?
I actually look. Here's the thing.
Girl.
If I was on a TV show, I would not want to alienate a group of fans. Period.
Exactly.
I thought that was like me or not. I think they shouldn't have done that. But I will say they are very vicious people. And when somebody go against a queen, honey, they come after you like what's Beyonce's The Beehive? They come after you. Like, it's kind of kooky in a way. Like, it's funny. Sometimes I mean, like, these women are serious about Melody Holt or Sheree.
Are you there?
Like, they are serious. Huh?
No.
What you say?
I can't hear you. You were gone away. I thought you hung up.
No. You can't hear me now?
I do now, but I didn't hear you for a couple minutes, it seems like.
I was just basically saying that those millimeters are really crazy about Melody. Like, they too serious. And unfortunately...
But we're not, though.
Let me say this. Shortly after this, Carlos King got a taste of that. Because a couple, I don't know what happened. I can't remember the details. And I only tapped in for a second, so I didn't really inquire to figure out what was happening. But something shortly happens after this podcast because they felt like something he did was disrespectful to Mel. Something Carlos did was disrespectful. And I don't know what it is, but I heard it was kind of related. I know it's related to the bloggers that they felt like were Melanie.
He was Yeah, so I believe what you're talking about is that Carlos King started striking pages allegedly. So anybody that was out there that appeared to support Melody and they were posting negative things about the show and about him, he started striking their pages. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
So and that was a pretty big deal. He started striking the pages.
Yeah.
I think the millimeters are pretty big. But I think what people fail to realize, and this is to me what could hurt Destiny and Tisha, whoever else is going to get, just because we support Melody, and I do support Melody 1,000%, but that doesn't mean I didn't go out and buy Destiny's tacky song on 10. I support her too. I even supported Tisha last season because she finally found her voice.
I don't think anybody cares about the support part. I don't think that wait a minute. I don't think that's the complaint about the millimeters. The complaint is,
but they're rolling all of us
being so mad at a sister like Stormy, who I don't personally like Stormy. Like, for this show, like, for real, I don't even like her. At first I did, because I kind of thought she was like a little hood and a little wallflower kind of country girl. I kind of wanted to see that a successful sister, but I don't really like how messy she is. She
is messy.
I'm not saying this because I like Stormy. What the millimeters tried to get her products removed out of stores, that wasn't cool.
Well, no,
like, for real. That's the kind of stuff. That's the only part that people are complaining about. Nobody cares about the people buying T-shirts or whatever it is.
Well, they obviously do. No. I think they care overall. You should hear some of the blogs that are talking about it. So to me, people they give the millimeters a whole lot of power, and I think it's crazy. They give them a whole lot of power, but they should care about the support, because some of us support Melody, but we support them as well. So, but when they want to lump everybody into a negative part of what they consider a millimeter, then they are,
I don't think that Tisha and what's her name should have had that conversation. That's crazy to me.
Okay, yeah, I don't either.
I wouldn't have never did that if for no other reason. Regardless if that person is tuning in for Melanie and not you, you still getting paid. So you don't ever want to, talk bad to people that still tune in. And most of the time, people that hate you the most, they listen to every word that you say. They have to know that at this point. They shouldn't have never did that. That was pure stupidity, and they shouldn't have aired it. Like, I think that it wasn't just petty. It was crazy that they literally aired that.
Yeah,
that should have never been aired.
It was crazy. It was crazy. All right, let's go over to. I think my battery's about to die. I'm gonna have to dial in from another.
But wait a minute, we even talked about the Moses part because
that's what I was about to say. Let's get into the sunny part, the sunny side of things. Right. First of all, I guess Joy, I think everybody knows about it, but Joy, let me ask you, girl code. Do you think anything Sunny did was wrong?
Everything Sunny did was wrong. Like, that's insane. Girl, right. If I was any inch of ghetto at whatever age, girl, that girl deserved her butt whoop. And I heard somebody calls out something that she did. They said this ain't the first time she's done it.
Right.
On the show. I don't know how true that is. Let me be clear.
40 is her name, I think.
We don't even know who they is.
Exactly. Yeah, they said it's not the first time. Yeah, it's not the first time. But no, let me say this. So when Carlos was on the little tour thing with Melody on the show tonight, he was saying he was upset that people were talking bad about the producers because the producers travel to make sure their people are good. Producers are just the bomb, blah, 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 blah. What he failed when he was saying, I kept thinking, yeah, but your producers also sleep with their people's men. So I don't understand all the braggadocious going on up in here. And Destiny, I think it was good to see her back. She wasn't all riled up with Chicago, Atlanta, Michigan, Detroit, whatever Tiffany was saying. She was calm and was able to talk about that situation pretty good. So I can't wait to see her and Sunny. If they do, see them talk about it.
I don't know if Sunny, we saw a clip of her and the guy.
Yeah, we saw that. And listen, Justice, right? He said he named his business after the baby they were going to have. That's foul to me.
That's crazy.
I mean, he cute though. I will tell you that.
He's nice. Look, he's from St. Louis. I said, girl, Destiny, toxic girl.
Oh, it's in St. Louis. So not Stormy, but Sunny supposedly said, yeah, I mean, we must be related because I always run into family when he's around. We must be related. So that's why Destiny said that, yes, she told me they were cousins. It sounds like she didn't say we are cousins. It sounds like she said we might be cousins because I always run into him when family is around. I don't know. I mean, we could try and say that Sunny, didn't do anything wrong, but it's definitely an uncomfortable situation. One of the
things that they're saying is that they should have called. She should have called her at the beginning, because if you and the girl broke up, it's just a courtesy phone call.
Yes,
she called once they got serious.
And then Sunny said on a radio show last week that, I mean, do you really have to call and ask somebody permission before you date their ex? And Tisha was like, I think it was Tisha. Yeah, you do. I think it's foul. So Sunny is playing their relationship up. Her and Destiny playing it up like they weren't serious friends. Yeah, they knew each other, and she told me all of her intimate details. But once I clock off the clock, listen, the clock is off, and I'm going for what I want to go for. So she don't think she did anything wrong. Yeah,
I mean, I wondered, is it true that she was trying to manage her and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, some people do things other than, right. I mean, they just making the millimeters look crazy. They're trying to make the millimeters look crazy. That's probably why Mel keeps succeeding, because every time they try and knock something down, it's just weird to me. They're throwing all of this on the millimeters. Anyway, let me see. Joy, she's middle. Oh, some of the stuff that Destiny and Tisha was saying. The millimeters are middle-aged, toxic chicks, a group of broken women. I
couldn't believe that they aired that either. That was crazy.
Can you believe that?
That was crazy. I was like, why are y'all trying to alienate your fans?
Exactly.
That is crazy to me. I
I'm
mean,
like, okay.
I ain't
But
crazy
okay.
about some of the things that they do, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm not
I
gonna take my
wouldn't talk
camera up to
bad if that's
the
my bread and butter. And
right.
I don't understand.
That
Are they
part.
trying to kill this show? Is that what they're trying to do?
I don't know what it is, but this was a good episode. I think we are through with all the parts. I think we are through. Let me see.
Yeah. What's at the
Fish
end?
said
Yeah.
Destiny needs to let Moses know how to. Oh, I will say that real quick. Tisha says she thinks Destiny needs to let him know, that she thinks what he did was wrong. At this point, because he is now married to her, I wouldn't even see a need to talk to Moses.
No, it's no need to talk for real.
I mean, yes, I was kind of.
But we know that there's a scene of them together because we
know they're going to talk, but I don't know that I would have. Maybe they did that for, just for the ratings. But I wonder though. Isn't it against the code of conduct or something for the producers to be dating people like that? I don't know, Carlos. Carlos' little situation over there at that Kingdom Reign, it seems very problematic.
Yeah, it does.
He's over there leaving every 2 seconds. Somebody else is gone, and half the crew over here in jail or either got a rap sheet. I think the only one that ain't been arrested is
This was a 10. As far as
openers,
this is a 10 because if this is the beginning of this season, and I'm gonna complain all day long, but guess what? I'm gonna be watching.
I'm gonna be watching too. I don't know if somebody really blacked out tonight or not, but
it was a good episode.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
It was so messy.
It was messier than messy.
It was messy. He spent a whole segment of his podcast breaking down some of Martell's text messages.
Right. And he said Martell was lying about acting.
When he was given, I don't know if y'all remember, that's why I said so much happens off this show that it's insane. If you don't watch this, some of them groups, you confused watching the show. But Martell was ticked off. Apparently, I'm going to tell you what I read, because I'm a January Capricorn. Martell too is, by the way. And I'm a read between the lines type girl. I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened. Okay. Now, this is my thought process. Based off some of the things Martell was saying, he was really complaining about the fact that he really can't show his real life. His real life is his life with Ariana. And when I was reading it, I felt like he was like, there's so much acting going on. We ain't doing nothing but faking. And, he was ticked off. So that's what I took. Now, I could be wrong.
You could be.
But I think me and January Capricorns think alike. And it felt like he was complaining because he couldn't show he was literally complaining about not being able to show his life.
I don't want to see the coleslaw thing. But Joy, I think my battery's about to die out on you if you're still talking and you don't hear. That's why.
Okay. Well, we can end this on out, but this was a good episode. I really hope
it was a good episode.
You all are tuning in because I said I wasn't going to watch this season 2, but not for reasons. You all were probably a lot of people who were complaining about the show. I said I wasn't going to watch because I just don't want this to be another Mel and Melanie show. Mel and
I think they're going to actually get off of that topic for a little bit, and we'll get to talk about Moses.
It's becoming redundant, and I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Marceau cheating again. That is, but it keeps coming up like the same stuff, like over and over and over again. It's not fun. The show.
We didn't get a chance to talk about her makeup artist. Did you see her go live the other day? Tisha's makeup artist, who now no longer works for Tisha because. Okay, that's a whole nother thing, though. We can talk about that next week, I guess. Okay, y'all. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I think we won't be back until probably next Monday, not this coming Monday after next. If we're watching, I don't know if we're gonna do Jersey or not. I'd like to. I know me and Dormicio said we would. I like Jersey. Jersey starts Sunday. I don't know. Kind of put this in perspective, guys. They moved Jersey, Real Housewives of New Jersey, to Sunday nights. That means that the Black shows that have dominated that time slot there's none out there. We would normally have an Atlanta right now, or Married to Medicine. Sometimes they would run close behind one another. Like, so New Jersey is taking that slide. New Jersey, I think, used to come on Tuesdays. I think it was Tuesdays. But now Sunday, if that does well, I really hope that like Atlanta don't lose their time. Because that, I love that Sunday night. I much prefer it on the Sunday night, but just think about that. But anyway, that's it, y'all. We're going to upload this podcast if you want to hear it from the beginning. If you missed it, we're on everything that you can get your podcast from. I get mine on YouTube Music, but Spotify, Apple, wherever you get them from, look up Chatter Up. We try to upload pretty quickly. And if there's nothing else, I will see you all later. Have a good evening, y'all.